So One More have upgraded their Sonoflow headphones with these, the new Sonoflow Pros. Now these have several upgrades over the older headphones, plus they're cheaper, which could make these one of the best budget ANC headphones to buy. So we're going to check them out and compare them against the old Sonoflows to see if it's worth upgrading to. Let's get into it. So looking at the case of these first, because well, that's what you first see when you get them out of the box. It looks very similar to the case on the old Sony XM4s, and that's not a bad thing. So if we open this up, inside here you've got the headphones themselves, as well as a little bag which contains the USB-C cable, and it comes with an audio cable as well, so you can listen to these over a wired connection if you don't want to use them wirelessly. The case is a nice hard case as well, so it's a good amount of protection for your headphones. Plenty of other headphones, especially around this sort of price bracket, don't even come with a case, so to have a case that is good as this is pretty impressive. Now design wise, these do look very similar to the old Sonoflows, and honestly, bar a colour change to the One More logo on the side, you wouldn't really know the difference. That's not necessarily a bad thing. So the headband itself is nice and comfortable. There's a decent amount of clamping on your head as well, which keeps them nice and comfortable on your head. Plus there's a good amount of passive sealing around the earpads themselves, and we'll get into how the ANC of these are later. So these fold up like this. They can also fold up to go inside the case, which they already came out of. So shoving these in your bag is super easy. You've got a metal reinforced headband here. So big range of head sizes as well. So I've got a pretty big head, and I'm not going to have it on the biggest setting by a long shot. I typically have it on the smallest setting, move it out sort of like maybe 2 or 3 notches either side, and that's fine for me. Nice and bendable as well, so you don't really have to worry about this thing breaking. You've got a good amount of pivot on the ear cups as well, easily going to contour to most face shapes. The ear pads themselves are also really comfortable, so they've got a memory foam on them, and they're covered in this nice soft leather as well, so it's nice and comfortable on your ears, and I can happily wear these for hours at a time without any problems. I do find the ear pads a little bit on the small side though, so I don't have particularly big ears, and they just about fit my ears, so if you've got bigger ears, you might want to look elsewhere. These headphones come with Bluetooth 5.4, which not only ensures a rock solid connection to your devices, but also provides multi-point so you can be connected up to 2 devices at the same time. That Bluetooth version also means there's a significant change to the battery life of these, which we'll get to later. These also come with an audio cable, so if you want to listen to these over a wired connection, you can. And quickly mentioning the mobile app, so One More have ditched the old One More music app and have now released the One More app, which is a good thing because when I reviewed the original Sonoflows, one of my gripes was with the mobile app, which was just a bit clunky and slow, and the new one is definitely a lot better, especially using the 10-band custom EQ. It's a lot faster and easier to use that than it was on the old app. Moving on to ANC, and there are 3 modes. There's ANC, transparency, and off. There's no variable ANC, there's no variable transparency, it is just on or off. And in testing, it did a fairly good job at cancelling out some of the lower frequencies. It wasn't particularly good at cancelling out the higher frequencies, so if you're in a noisy cafe, for instance, you are still going to hear people talking coming through your headphones. That's not really unexpected at the more budget end of headphones though, so it's good to have some ANC, just don't expect it to be class leading. And I'd pretty much say that about any pair of headphones under $100, which these are. Transparency mode is okay. I mean, it's not a mode that I particularly use that often. You can hear your outside noise in, doesn't sound particularly natural. Again, most headphones around this price don't either, but it's a mode there if you want it. And moving on to the mic, so if you're going to be using these to take a call, then this is what they sound like. You are now listening to a mic test of the One More Sonoflow Pro headphones, and this is what it would sound like if I take a call on these in a quiet room. You are now listening to the mic on the top of the camera with some simulated coffee shop noise playing in the background. So now if I switch to the mics on these headphones, this is what it would sound like if you happen to take a call on these in a noisy environment, and how well these headphones are cancelling out that background noise and making sure all my voice is clear and well heard. And moving on to the sound, and inside these are a pair of 40mm drivers that support SBC, AAC and LDAC high-res audio. The sound out of the box is very V-shaped, so lots of bass, bright trebles, and the mids are definitely a bit recessed, which is fine for listening to most types of music like pop and rock. If you don't like that sound though, then you can jump into the mobile app, and there's a whole bunch of preset EQs that you can use or you can jump into the custom 10-band EQ and change it to exactly your preference, which is what I did. Basically, I just pushed up the mids and then recessed the bass and the treble a bit, and that balanced out the sound profile for me a lot better. The ANC in these headphones definitely changes the sound profile though, because with ANC on, there's a lot of bass to that sound signature. If you turn ANC off, there is a significant drop in the bass response. So if you leave the ANC on and then you tweak the EQ to whatever your preference is, then I think these sound fine. I mean, there's nothing exceptional about them, but there's also nothing fundamentally wrong with them either. I think for the price that these sound good, and I don't think you'd be disappointed if you bought them. Moving on to one of the biggest changes, or one of the biggest benefits of these pair of headphones, battery life. Because with a fully charged pair of headphones, you can get up to 100 hours of battery life with these headphones, which is an insane amount of playtime. Now that is with ANC turned off. If you do turn ANC on, then that does drop down to 65 hours. However, that is still 15 hours more than the old One More Sonoflows. These do come equipped with fast charging though, where a 5-minute charge will give you 10 hours of playback, which is crazy amount of playtime for such a short charge. That's twice as much playtime as the old Sonoflows gave, because they only gave you 5 hours. So 10 hours, 5-minute charge with these. If you do want to charge it up to full, they do take 80 minutes. That's the same length of time as the old Sonoflows did as well. So let me just compare these to the original Sonoflow. The old Sonoflow case had a molded insert for putting the headphones in. The new Sonoflow Pro doesn't. That is a good thing though, because I do find that the lack of an insert makes the Sonoflow Pros easier to put into the case. What is missing, and a bit of a shame though, is there's no little sort of mesh pocket for putting your cables in, so your cables just kind of float around inside the case. I would have liked to have seen that mesh pocket remain. Both of these do sound slightly different as well. I do think the Pros sound ever so slightly better. There just feels like there's more body and presence to the mids inside the Pros than there are to the non-Pros. The mobile app is different, so the old Sonoflows use the One More Music app, whereas the newer One More app with the Pros is a better experience. The Sonoflow Pros have up to 100 hours of battery life with the same size battery. That is just phenomenal battery life on these. So yes, there is a difference between the original Sonoflows and the Sonoflow Pros, but they are incremental changes rather than generational leaps, so I wouldn't say it's worth the upgrade. So should you buy the One More Sonoflow Pro headphones? Well, I think for the price, you don't really have too much to complain about. I mean, for the price, you're getting a pair of headphones that have good enough sound, have exceptional battery life, and even come with a case as well. And so for that price of $75, you really are getting a lot for your money. You can get them in blue, black, and silver, and I will leave purchase links to them in the description down below so that you can go check them out for yourself. If you do want to check out some more options, then be sure to check out the link up here somewhere. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, see you in the next one.